and that was at a formative point where agroecology was beginning to be taken much more seriously in the CGIAR than it had been before, particularly on the back of the high-level panel of experts report on agroecological and other innovations that was released in 2019. And I was the project team leader for that report, which led on to the formation also of the Transformative Partnership Platform on Agroecology, which I co-convened together with Bernard Triumph at DeSIRA. Transitions is why I'm here. Has three pillars. One on metrics, which we run out of C4 ICRAF, trying to develop appropriate metrics for agricultural systems that allow agroecological options to be on a level playing field with conventional agriculture. There's a second pillar on digital solutions, and that has been very exciting because the whole dynamics in communications technology is moving so fast, but there's also this need to make sure that you're empowering farmers rather than the opposite. And lots of useful tools coming out of that part of transitions, and also in the third element is the private sector engagement, and Yodit has been here talking about that. So very enjoyable few days. I was impressed because sitting down with the same group of people, all of whom have got rich experiences of implementing different DeSIRA projects across East and Southern Africa, has been a real eye-opener. Firstly, because lots of things are coming together, so there's a real progression as we moved through, and reinforcing from one set of experiences to another, just the sort of common lessons that you can begin to learn, the importance of multi-stakeholder platforms in plugging the missing middle, for example, between quite good national and international commitments to things like land restoration and climate adaptation, but a big gap between that and action on the ground. And it's the local landscape or territorial scale where things tend to fall apart because there aren't the policy structures or the social capital at that level where ecosystem services are first manifest in order to implement agroecological ways to transform food systems. And I can also see how people are really beginning to grasp what transformation is all about. It's not incremental change, just a little bit more efficiency in an unsustainable model of monocultural agriculture sustained by environmentally disruptive chemicals, but really needing to shift to ways that we can be sustainable and equitable in our production. I think there's this sometimes a confusion about regenerative agriculture, very much a huge part of agroecology, but only about half of it, because that's the agroecosystem bit, the farming bit, farming in harmony with nature. But in order to get a food system transformation, you have to do a lot more than that. You've got to engage with markets, which we've seen a lot of. A wonderful presentation from Messeret on Ethiopia around nutrition and markets and jobs. We've also seen it with some of the bio-input manufacture, fertilizers, whether it's using biochar or black soldier fly to work on wastes and convert them into higher quality proteins and fertilizers that can sustain agriculture. But also, the reduction of food loss and waste, absolutely critical. Consumer behavior and agency of consumers, really vital for food system transformation. And really importantly, the governance element. Who's making decisions? How much participation is there in decisions about how landscapes are run, how policies are formed and implemented, and the power relationships between smallholder farmers on the one hand and the big food corporations and input suppliers on the other. And I think we've seen some real progress towards plugging the missing middle and 5 steps to food system transformation in Africa. And if that gets taken on from these 2.5 days, then it will be a fantastic accolade for you and the other organisers of this DeSIRA meeting.